How y'all doing? Welcome to Woodshed Antics. If it's your first time here, welcome. If you've been around a while and you continue to show up to support the channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart. As always, like, share, and subscribe. It's how we grow the channel. It's how I keep chasing this dream. So today, real quick, I've had a request to do an eagle carving, and we're gonna do the rough out today. Again, I believe this is the best place to start. Regular kitchen knife, regular potato. I'm gonna show you a pattern that I just pulled out of my head. I've carved these so many times, they're just stuck there. This is how I would do it. But I'm gonna spin you around, we'll get carving. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the overall shape of my potato. So I have kind of a taller, skinny one. I don't think there's enough up here, so I'm gonna go ahead, trim off just a little bit of this here. I'm also going to trim off a piece on the bottom and try to keep it flat for a nice place to stand. Perfect. We'll flatten that out a little bit. Now I'm going to start looking. And it's a pretty round, pretty shapeless, so I don't think it's really going to matter where I'm going to start. But I am going to use this for the front of the bird and back, and this is for the sides. So I'll go ahead and start right here. I'm going to come, so if this is my halfway, I'm going to come about halfway. And I'm going to trim this down on the back. And I'm going to go pretty far. I'll end up coming back in and correcting this just a hair later, but I'm going to make this as the back shoulder or the back of the bird. The head being here, this is the front, this is the back. I've kind of skewed my cut. I'll go ahead and correct that. And what I mean by skewed is I want this as flat as possible, front to back, left to right. Then I'm going to come in here, and same thing we did with the bear. I'm going to leave, a 3/8 piece across the top. And I'm going to dive in here and I'm going to make a step. Just like we did last time. Cut across there. I'm going to look at this. I'm a little bit crooked. I'm going to dive that down just a hair. Come in there. And I've got this step here, right? That little piece out of that crack. So now I have that step. The back of the bird, the head, the front of the bird, front of the beak right here, right? I can cut that off. Now I've got to go to the bottom of the head. We have a cut that dives in here about the same 3/8. And that line, I'm going to stop that cut, trying to cut straight across that same piece. Now, it's hard to imagine to dive in and cut this cut that's going to come down here for the breast. So I'm going to start shy. And you can see that when I did that, I didn't level that out, which is fine. I'll do that now. You can do it now or later, but I'm going to cut in here and I'm going to relieve this to make sure I hit that mark right there. I don't want to overshoot that going back in. I can come back here and drop down, lay my knife down a little flatter and aim for that same spot. Now I've got this breast in, right? And I'm a little bit skewed. So we'll just come in here and pop that out, and that's flattening out really nice. Right there. So now we have the beak, the breast of the bird, the back of the bird, right? This next cut is going to dive in this way to get the body of that bird, and it's going to come. So same thing. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to leave a little bit on the bottom, and I'm going to go about as far as I want to go, which is going to be, imagine this, straight down this line again. That line right there, straight down. That line right there, straight down. I've overcut this back a little bit. I'm going to be all right though. And then I'm going to try to 45 this off. I don't always have to try to get it on the first cut, but lucky for me, I nailed it, right? So the next cut is I'm going to move to the sides. So I've got the head, and if you can imagine this coming down, this is going to go to this line. If you were to draw a line around here, right here, that's it. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to go down to that line. This line is going to be the start of the shoulder of my bird, right? So I'm going to cut that down right like that. Hopefully you can see that. It kind of has that it's not even a 45. I call every angled cut a 45 for some reason. But front to back, a little bit skewed. Going to go down Again, right here, same place. I don't know if you can see that. At the bottom of the beak, I'm going to dive this in right here. And then I'm going to try to hit that mark as I come down. Right to there. So now I have that. This shoulder is not as clean as the other shoulder because I didn't sink my cut all the way in. But you can see that now. It's also off front to back. There we go. Okay. The next cut is just rolling this shoulder off. There. Same thing. Rolling this shoulder off here. Trying to hold the tip of that knife right in that seam right there. So if, whether you're carving with a knife or a chainsaw, it doesn't matter. You're just trying to keep those lines straight across here to here. So now I have those in. My next cut is just a taper cut, and it's going to be a shallower angle, but it's coming down here again, right to this spot. Now you don't want to overcut going in that way. You don't want to overcut going in this way, but that stop cut will keep you from going too deep. So now you can take a couple of stabs at this, but you just want to start slow, cutting this angle in, right? Trying to keep everything nice and flat, square to the front to back, square to side to side. And then I'm going to come in this side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going just below this line right here, and I'm laying my knife pretty shallow, and I'm trying to dive right in there and grab that. Now I can kind of start looking at the other side and comparing. About right there. So now I have, this shoulder is a little bit higher than this shoulder, so that's easy to fix. We just come in here and lift this up a little bit. I'm not cutting any more off, I'm just shallowing out the angle that I cut on. I did get deeper right there. Oopsie. That's all good though. So I just need to come in a little deeper this way. And we should be pretty square front to back, side to side. These lines here, you're going to throw you off a little bit, and this is going to throw you off. This is a little more rounded off on that side. But that's the overall shape, right? You'd come in here and you'd obviously start shaping this head, carving this beak in a little bit, and starting to work everything down. But that is the rough out. That is the general shape. I'm over on my time, so I'll end the video here. You can start trying your hand at this and getting these shapes in, and we'll do another video in wood showing you how to detail, but practice a little bit on these rough outs.